Palmero and the defending American League Western Division champion, Texas Rangers. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Arlington, Texas. With Darrin Jackson, I'm Ken Harrelson, as we get set to bring you the third of this four-game set. And as you know, the first two have not gone according to Hoyle. Texas won the first one 10-4. Then last night, Sox pitchers walked 9 guys. 5 of them crossed home plate. We committed 2 errors and got beat 12-8. But Darrin, prior to the game, going down on the field, attitude seems to be great.
Attitude is still outstanding. The guys have the attitude that's working for them, but they've got a case of nerves. I don't know what's going on. They were excited about the season starting. They're just nervous. They need to relax and play some ball.
All right, this afternoon, 24-year-old southpaw Jim Parquet will be opposed by the southpaw Darren Oliver, and we'll be back with the rest of the starting lineups right after this. Welcome back to the ballpark at Arlington, Texas, as Ray Durham stands in, and Darren Oliver, 29-year-old southpaw, ready with the first pitch of the ball game. Fastball, foul straight back. Ray comes in 0 for 8 in the first 2 ball games. And as DJ was talking about in the opening, the Sox, the attitude is terrific. It's right where it should be. The only thing now that's been a deterrent to the attitude has been a case of nerves. And everybody presses, especially when you're 0 for 4 or 0 for 8. That's up high. Durham last year hit 296, 13 homers, and he drove in 60. On a beautiful day for baseball. Beautiful but windy. Not a cloud in the sky as that pitch inside. And the count 2-1. Here at the ballpark, 332 down the left field line, 390 in left center, 400 straight away center field, 381 in right center, and 325 down the right field line. That's fouled out of play right side. So the count evens at 2. Oliver 5-2 lifetime against the Sox. And in his major league career has won 54 times while losing 40. And DJ, you face this guy. He's tough.
I hated facing Oliver. This guy always threw me breaking balls down and in. I had the hardest time laying off of those pitches.
Breaking ball.
Sneaky fastball. He'd get it up there on you. He's got some movement. He'd start it in on the inside plate on you. I mean, part of the inside corner, and he'd come back right over the heart of the plate. You think it's going to be inside. You lay off of it. Next thing you know, it's catching the plate. I hated that. He gave me a very tough time.
There's a ground ball to Hopper. Royce Clayton up with it. And that's out number 1. And let's check out the Sox starting lineup today, given by Jerry Manuel. Durham, Valentin, and Thomas, the top third. Ordonez, Konerko, Singleton in the middle. In the bottom third of Carlos Lee, Craig Wilson, and Josh Paul. Here's Valentin. Jose 3 for 9 in the series. Lifetime 2 for 8 against Oliver. Talking with Jose this morning about that ligament in his left thumb that bothered him so much last year. And as we had discussed earlier, it's just very difficult to pull the bat when you've got something wrong with one of your hands. He feels like he's swinging the bat much better from the right side. He certainly has more bat speed. He still has a pin right in there on that ligament that they had to attach the ligament to.
Jose's swung the bat good. He's had no problem all spring long swinging the bat from the left or the right side. We talk about that, how little things like a hand bothering you, your foot bothering you, any of these little things, it really gets into your head the minute you step in the batter's box, and it alters your swing.
There's a good breaking ball strike. 2-2.
Talking about how much last year it affected Frank. Just his foot, his toe, his ankle. It changed his whole approach as a hitter.
That's inside. Especially when it's your back foot. The push-off foot.
I don't care what foot it is. If I had to land on it, it bothered me. Push off, land on it. It's a distraction.
Pops him up. That wind. Ivan Rodriguez can't see it now. Tom Evans, as the ball hits in the photographer's well. Ivan never had a clue. And right now, let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. Phil Moore, Skip Ellison, and the crew went with Mags Ordonez. DJ's going with Craig Wilson. And the Mongoose, Frank Rocca and I going with Ray Durham. And Darrin Jackson jumps off to a quick 1-0 lead.
That's the kind of luck I've got, guys.
That's just the kind of guy you are.
I'm going to jump out at you.
Fouls that high fastball back. Well, Oliver last year with St. Louis, 9-9, 4.26 ERA, and I had a chance to talk to his dad, Bob, who I played against, who was in the Kansas City organization when he first came up. Of course, Big Bob could hit it. I mean, he could hit it 9 miles. And he said that his son last year grew up a lot. There's ball 4. And sometimes it takes a while for a young man coming to the big leagues, which Oliver got here at an early age, to reach that maturity.
It's amazing how that happens to a lot of guys.
Here's Big Frank, 3 for 8. And he has 1 RBI, but he has swung the bat well. Takes first pitch ball.
Frank's attitude, I talked to him today, is outstanding right now. He's really pumped with the way he's been hitting the ball. He's been hitting the ball hard all over the field. And I'm really happy with the fact that he is still, there we go right there.
Fair ball down into the corner. So Valentin on his way to third as Frank moseys into second with the 1-out double. Yesterday, Frank only had 1 hit and 4 at-bats, and he scalded it 4 times.
That's what I'm talking about. Right now, he's still so excited about how hard he's hitting the ball, even if he's not getting the results. Last year, it would have stressed him out a little bit. So far, right now, he's hitting the ball hard. He's not getting hits, and it's not bothering him at all.
That'll bring up the right fielder, Mags Ordonez. Mags 4 for 8 in the first 2 games with an RBI. Last year, 30 homers, 117 driven in. That's into left field. Valentin tagging as Chad Curtis makes the catch. Here comes Jose. He will score, and the Sox jump off to a quick 1-0 lead. And right now, let's check out the Rangers defensively for you. Curtis, Mateo, and Kapler in the outfield. Evans, Clayton, Alicea, Segui around the horn from third. And the battery of Ivan Rodriguez and Darren Oliver. That'll bring up the first baseman this afternoon, Paul Konerko. Paul 3 for 8 with a ribby. That ball gets away from Rodriguez, so Frank will move into third. Curveball in the dirt, and that'll be a wild pitch. That's good. Now all of a sudden he's got a man on third base, and he's thinking about that low curveball. Make him get it up a little bit if he wants to throw it.
That's that curveball I was talking about earlier. He likes to throw that really tight breaking ball down, down, down. If he's going to throw it that hard down, we're going to get a lot of benefit from it today, because Ivan can't even block a curveball that hard.
Well, if I'm Konerko right now, I'm looking dead red. Pull the string on him with a change.
Good thing you weren't up there.
It'd have been the same result.
That's exactly right.
Swing and a miss.
He was looking dead red. You called it.
Outfield straight away. Now they're going to come in there with a fastball, and this is up high. Yeah, I used to love to have, in that situation, be at the plate with a man on second, and all of a sudden the guy would throw a low curveball in the dirt. Chances are he wasn't going to throw another good curveball in that sequence. Unless he was a veteran 20-game winner or something like that. Then it doesn't back him up one bit.
Well, he can't throw that same pitch again. He knows now he's got a guy 90 feet away. If he throws it in the dirt again, guess what? He's just giving us a run. So now you can eliminate that out of your mind and concentrate, like you said. Look for that dead red fastball. Problem is, Oliver's got a good changeup that he can throw also. If you're looking fastball, you're in trouble.
There's a shot. Stay fair.
Beautiful.
It will.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much. Down into the corner as Konerko on his way to second base as Curtis gets it back in. So Paul picks up his third 2-bagger, knocks in his second run, and it's 2-0 White Sox. You brought up a great point last night with Konerko when he made the throwing error to allow 2 runs to score. They're coming on with 2 out. He does not let that affect him at the plate, nor will he allow a pop-up or a strikeout at the plate to affect him in the field. They're two separate phases.
He's a big league ball player. He can concentrate on the level he needs to. But that's what makes Paul very good. He concentrates on a higher level than the average player. He's above average. Average players' concentration levels are usually lower. Paul can rise above.
How well you handle your mind and your emotions. And then if you've got some talent, that's just a bonus.
You know, last night I was talking about with Paul, to me it seemed like on that play that the runner distracted him and he threw the ball away. I talked to him before the game today, and that was not the case at all. He said he flat out just made a bad throw.
Aimed it.
Just got up, saw Frank over there and threw it and made a bad throw. That's all. It's hard to believe you could throw a ball that far off and not be distracted, but that's what he said. It did not bother him in any way.
Oliver makes a good pitch on Singleton, hitting the outside corner. Chris 2 for 9 with 3 RBIs in the first 2 games. Outfield around to the left, gap in right center. A little tardy on that fastball. Oliver had a fine spring. In 7 appearances, he was 3-0 with a 2.66 ERA.
That's outstanding during spring training. Guys usually aren't that sharp. Let's look at what our pitchers did this spring. They had a lot of trouble.
Just off the corner. Good eye. So a full count to Chris Singleton. And the payoff pitch.
Gear it up now. Get him ready. Gear it up.
Another nice crowd on hand for the third of this 4-game set. Opening night, 49,000 plus. Good crowd last night. Rangers, as we mentioned, 100,000 tickets ahead at this point last year. And that's outside a good at bat for Singleton, and that'll bring up Carlos Lee. And pitching coach Dick Bosman. Baseball, it seems like for some reason that it takes left-handers longer to reach a level of consistency. Why is that, DJ?
I have no idea. That's always interested me because it seems to be that that's true. They don't seem to come up here and have that same control that right-handers get to the big leagues. They seem to have more control when they first get here. Maybe it has to do with how those left-handers have that natural movement. Ball seems to run away from the plate on them a lot more than a right-hander. Right-hander throws the ball, it's usually true and straight.
Yeah, very seldom do you see a left-hander that's dead straight.
If you do, I want to face him.
That's for sure. Here's Carlos. Takes strike one. Carlos 5 for 9 with a homer. And he's driven in 4 through the first 2 games. Last year, 293, 16 homers, and drove in 84. Looks at that pitch nicely down low. 1-1 the count. You missed last night's ball game. He hit a bomb. That wind was just howling in as it is this afternoon from center field. Got up in that wind and just kept it in the ballpark. But later on, Mike Munoz in the 7th inning, he got a high fastball and hit it way out of here to left center.
He took the wind out of play on that. He had no problem putting some good distance on that ball.
He's in good shape. The 2-1 pitch. Ooh, looks like a pretty good pitch to hit right there. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 count. Fights that pitch off. And if you missed that home run last night off Mike Munoz, poof, here it is. That's a taunt.
And that ball was out of the strike zone. Still hit it that far.
Just did get a piece of that high, hard one. Come on, Carlos. Get yourself a 2-out knock. Change speeds on him. Nice pitch by Oliver. Had him way out in front, but he was fortunate enough to just cue it foul.
You know, it's so funny how he took that 2-1 fastball a few pitches ago, and that was actually the best pitch for him to hit so far. It's amazing how sometimes you miss that one opportunity. You and I always talk about how you usually get one good pitch to hit every at bat, and you better hit it. He missed it already.
Gets jammed right there off his foot. Are they going to call it fair? Yes, they are. Evidently, it did not hit his foot. He just lost his footing. Meanwhile, the Sox put 2 on the board after a half inning of play. It's the Sox 2 and the Rangers coming to the bat. Center. Batting 6th, the first baseman. Switch hitting David Segui. In the 7th hole, the right fielder. Boy, what a series he's had so far. It'll be Gabe Kapler. Luis Alicea, another switch hitter. Will bat 8th. He'll be at 2nd. And batting 9th, the third baseman, Tom Evans. Defensively for the Sox, Lee, Singleton, and Ordonez. Around the horn, Wilson, Valentin, Durham, Canerco, and the battery of Josh Ball and the 24-year-old southpaw Jim Parquet. Parquet last year, 9-15, 5-13 Erie. Had a great start to the season. Just before the All-Star break, started tailing off and just did not recoup. Well, Jimmy 0-1 with a 6.48 ERA in spring training in 5 appearances. Here's Clayton, 0 for 8 in the first 2 games. Fastball. Parquet with that new delivery that he is trying, a bit of an abbreviated delivery, trying to shorten him up a little bit and make him a little more compact.
Got to try something new when the old was not working.
Well, I like it when Parquet spends a lot of time over the rubber. Last year, when he was the first 2.5 months of the season, it looked like he was never going to get off the top of that rubber. And he had patience when he started. He wasn't jumping out towards certainly the last half. That ball hit deep in the right field. Maggs, he's got a bead. He's there. And that's out number 1. But he has a tendency, or certainly in the last half last season, he wanted to rush out there, which is not uncommon for a young pitcher.
Well, it was like 2 different pitchers last year. He was an all-star almost the first half. He was very impressive. Obviously spending a lot of time over that rubber, as you like to call it, compared to the second half. Oh, that was disastrous compared to what he did. You'd like to see that first half start for him right here again today, just like last year.
Chad Curtis takes ball 1. Curtis last year with the Yankees hit .262, 5 homers, knocked in 24. And of course, a World Series hero with that big home run. He has faced Parquet twice in his career, and he has 1 hit. Big gap in left center. There's a fastball strike. Curtis out of Marion, Indiana. What you would call a scrappy little player.
I was just sitting here thinking about he is one hard-nosed baseball player.
No, you weren't.
I was thinking it. I was also thinking about how he and Kevin Mitchell got into a fight one day before a game when they were both in Cleveland. So he's definitely not afraid of anybody.
No, he's not afraid. 2-2 the count. 2-0 Sox here in the bottom of the first if you're just tuning in. throws him with that good fastball. He'll grab some bench for out number 2.
This is what Jim Parquet needs to do. Fire that fastball on that inside corner like that, and you're going to lock a lot of right-handers up with this pitch right here.
You can see he's spending a lot of time, and he takes his time. That's the key. A lot of guys will try to spend a lot of time over that rubber when they're making their first part of the windup, but then when they get to the delivering the ball to the plate, they have a tendency to jump out there.
They'll rush. Yes, you've got that right on the button. They'll rush all of a sudden. They've been hanging over that rubber too long, and then they got to jump at you.
Ivan Rodriguez, rocket, Durham off his glove. Boy, that ball was killed. Mercy.
Well, he's going to continue to hit the bullets all over the field. He's the one guy, obviously, right now that's going to use the whole field and hit the ball hard everywhere he hits it.
He's 4 for 8 in this series with 2 homers, and he's driven in 5. Last year's MVP, and deservedly so. 35 homers, 113 RBIs, 332. Just as good, if not the best I've ever seen, at shutting a running game down. Palmeiro takes down low.
We like to talk about that, how Ivan can change the whole running game. But how about yesterday? We were attempting to run on him, and that's something we don't normally do. We weren't really attempting to run on him, though. We were taking off on those pitchers yesterday.
Mark Johnson stole a base and had one of those patented Lance Johnson jumps.
He took off before the pitcher even thought about throwing the ball to home plate.
Yeah, he had a rookie out there. Francisco Cordero got that jump. The veteran's going to step off and run right at him between first and second as the count moves to 3-0 to Palmeiro. Palmeiro has had good success against Parquet in 9 at-bats, has 4 hits. Texas last year led the league in hitting at .293. He's hacking 3-0, pops it up. Mags fighting that win. He's there, makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. Nothing across. There was a hit, no errors, 1 left. After 1, 2-0 Sox. Josh Paul on deck. Wade Durham in the hole. That's 4 in a row. So the dreaded leadoff walk. Third base on balls issued already by Oliver. One of them has crossed home plate.
You call it the dreaded base on balls. Not for us today, as long as we're receiving them.
Walk. So here's Josh, 0 for 1 in the opener. Had a fine spring at 385. Takes it right there. Josh in the spring really focused on hitting the ball, driving the ball. It's a better way to put it. Driving the ball to right field.
Hit the ball on the line a lot to the right side of the infield. Not a lot of balls in the air to right field. They were line drives through the infield. And he had quite a few hits right back up the middle. One thing it shows you, he's going to hit a lot better if he can stay that direction of the field. He's not going to pull off of many breaking balls.
Well, he's off the plate, and of course, if you're going to try to hit the ball to right, center, and center, you got to be off that plate a little bit.
That's what you tried to do as a hitter, wasn't it?
Pretty good rip right there. Off left-handers I did. I stood off the plate and tried to hit them the opposite way because, as you mentioned earlier, most left-handed pitchers have that movement tailing away from the right-handed hitter. And, you know, you could hit the ball out of the ballpark to right field just as easy as you could to left. Off right-handers now, I stood right on top of the plate and tried to pull everything.
Wait a minute. Who could hit the ball over the right field fence just like left field fence? You? Or I know you're not talking to me because I couldn't.
That's inside.
I had a total of about 5 home runs to right field my whole career, so if I hit the ball to right field, I wanted to do what Frank was doing last year. Little flares into right field.
Little duck snorts.
That was good for me.
First and third, and Josh. Decent lead by Wilson. Josh trying to protect that plate, stays inside the ball.
Wow. Did you see how far that ball went? That ball's fair. That's got the distance.
You know, the one thing that impressed me about watching Josh this spring was the fact that it really looked like his hand strength was greater than it was last year.
Shake his hand. You'll see how strong his hand strength is. He's actually really strong, very lean and very strong. I don't know if it has anything to do with being a catcher, but he's pretty strong for a gangly guy.
Josh just 24 years old. Curveball, almost walked right into that one. So after falling behind 0-2, he's got a full count. You know what you were talking about in the opening about the Sox attitude being terrific, right where it should be. The only thing that's deterring that a little bit has probably been a case of nerves. And I was talking with Jerry Manuel prior to the game. Walked over there. He was sitting in the dugout. And he looked at me and said, "What do you think?" I said, "Jerry, I like your ball club." He says, "I do too." There's a chopper in the hole for a base hit. So Wilson now will have to pull up as Chad Curtis does exactly what he's supposed to do. Gets to it in a hurry. And the Sox, men at first and second, nobody out.
Getting back to that, you like this team. You know what? This is a very good team. We've talked about it the first 2 broadcasts, and that is, no matter how you look at it, we have a really good lineup. We really do. Everybody's just got to do their job. And if they do that, we're going to win a lot of games. A lot more than last year, that's for sure.
Here's Ray. He grounded out to Royce Clayton. He's still looking for his first hit in 2000. Trying to hit that ball into right center field.
That might be good right here. Ray staying on the ball a little better. Get that first hit going the other way. Makes you that much better hitter if you're not going to pull off the ball.
Ooh, Ray thought that was inside.
Well, he's not going to hit many pitches like that down and in to the right side of the field, that's for sure.
So Oliver here in 1+ innings has thrown 51 pitches. There's a shot base hit. That a boy, Ray, picking up his first base hit. Here's Curtis with a throw to Rodriguez.
There we go. Go.
As now Rodriguez pushes Wilson away. Attaboy, Craig. What does Yvonne expect you to do? Slide short so he can catch him, put the tag on?
Well, you know what happened? Yvonne never cut that ball cleanly, I don't think. I think he dropped it as soon as it hit his glove. Willie just made sure that he was not about to get a handle on it and tag him out.
Well, here's the case. I don't blame either one of them.
There's that ball come crawling out of there. That's a case of Yvonne being a little frustrated.
Exactly.
Not holding on to that ball. He should have held on to it. It's down there bouncing right in front of him. Willie doing his job. Gives him a little shove, saying, "Get off of me."
So it's 3-0 Sox, and here's Valentin. Jose walked and scored last inning. Still nobody out. There's a good veteran play right there, trying to push that bunt to the right side, get one in, one over. Not a suicide. If he gets it by Oliver, then Paul's going to have no problem scoring, especially Josh, who runs extremely well, as does Mark Johnson for catchers.
Outstanding idea there. The problem is that he got a breaking ball, which is one of the hardest things to do, is all of a sudden change your timing from that fastball and push it all of a sudden to the right side. Might not be as hard if he was going to try and drag it to third base, but his timing is to push that ball on a fastball to the right side of the infield. It's a difficult thing to do on that slow curve.
That Parasho starting to loosen up. Took that pitch nicely, breaking ball down and in. So right here, Jose knows what his job is. He'd proved it on the first pitch.
And of course, Darren Oliver's job is to make sure that he can't get his job done. So you got two guys out there in a contrast.
Up high, 2-1. Well, here's just where situational hitting comes into play so much, as Dick Bosman comes out once again. Here's where all you got to do is try to hit a little ground ball right side. Just a little ground ball right side. You get one in and one over. Still just one out.
Well, you and I always talk about the fact that it's a game of adjustments. Whenever I came up in a situation like this, the last couple of years that is, I would step way away from the plate. I would move way away from the plate and tell that pitcher, throw it on the outside corner, go ahead. I'm diving across and I'm going to hit it to the right side. If he threw it inside, I hit it really hard to the right side. If he threw it away, I just dive out there, get my job done, and take what I can get. But that to me is like, I learned that was about the best thing that you can do, is just make some adjustments, and the pitcher's going to look at you and go, what am I going to do now? I can't throw him inside because I'm not going to tie him up in there.
Well, I certainly love that intent of Valentin on the first pitch. That's up high, 3-1. Frank Thomas on deck. That does a club a lot of good. It really does. Even if he fouled it off, it's still just one of those little nuances about the game.
Shows that you know what you're doing. You have a job to do, and you're going to get it done any way you can.
That's foul back. Get out of here. Will. Maybe. No. Rodriguez is there. Stays right with it. Makes a nice catch, and that's out number one.
Ryan gets over to that railing, and it comes right back for him. That's having a home field advantage. The fans not coming into play at all. They let him make his clean catch. If that's in Chicago, the fans are taking that ball out of his glove.
Yeah, and that would not have been because it was over the railing fan interference either.
That's exactly right. That ball was in the seats.
So they're going to walk Frank to get to Maggs. That'll load him up.
Oh, I love this play.
The way Frank has been swinging the bat, yeah, it's a good move for Texas, but still you got Max who's been swinging the bat coming up with a sacks pack. I'll take that anytime.
That's what I mean. I love it. Let's get Maglio up there with the bases loaded. Frank swinging the bat very good, yes, but we talk about that all the time. You're usually not going to pitch around Frank to get to Maglio.
Well, again, it's just an indication that the scouting reports and the way Frank has shown Johnny Oates, the way he's been swinging the bat the first two games. Last year, I don't think this would have happened.
Especially here in Texas.
That has a little deeper meaning.
Frank had a little trouble here in Texas last year.
So here we go. Paul at third, Durham at second, Thomas at first. One gone. Maggs had a sacrifice fly last inning. Pops him up. Alicea drifting back. He's there, makes the catch. Here comes Paul with that good speed of his, and he's going to score. It's 4-0 White Sox.
Outstanding. Josh just did an outstanding job there. Right there on a play like that, Mateo's got to come in, and he has to make that play. Second baseman's falling back towards center field. Mateo's just drifting in, taking his time to get in there. He was actually nowhere close to the play, but he's got to bust in hard right off the bat and know that that second baseman's got a difficult play. Josh did an outstanding job of making sure that he did not miss the opportunity with the second baseman moving backwards.
Well, you know, Wallace Johnson Wallace Johnson right on top of it. He saw what was developing. As you mentioned, that's Mateo's play. He's got to come in and take charge right there. That's just a rookie mistake. Here's Konerko.
You talk about Wallace being aggressive. That's Josh all the way, I feel. Wallace is over there letting him make his own decision there. And Josh saw that he was moving backwards, moving the wrong direction. And Josh, as you know, has outstanding speed for a catcher and took advantage of it. It looked like Otis Nixon or something over there trying to score from third base.
Well, he doesn't run that well. Paul, an RBI double last inning. Pops this pitch up. That's playable. Segui, he's battling that wind. He's there. The good hands of David Segui hauls it in, but the Sox put 2 more on the board, and after an inning and a half lead it 4-zip.
Break in hard as soon as it was hit. He just let that ball go up, say it's yours, take it, and he didn't want no part of that, and he gave us a run, as you just pointed out.
So here is Mateo, 1 for 7 with an RBI in the first 2 games. Takes outside ball 1. 4-4-0 for the Sox, 0-1-0 for the Rangers. The Rocket Ray!
Oh, yes.
What a play for Ray!
Oh, my.
Mercy!
That's an outstanding play right there. Ray's got those little defensive back quick steps working right there. The ball was absolutely smoked. What an athlete. Ray is an outstanding athlete.
He's a tremendous athlete.
Wow. See, that's what we need. Right there. Great defense, huh?
Well, what I like about it, too, Ray, although he did pick up his first hit, the first RBI, top half of this inning, was 1 for 9. And the only way you can get a jump like he did right there is by thinking defense.
Get everything else out of your mind. But that's what everybody's job is. They get out on that field. First thing they should do is focus on nothing but helping the pitcher out. You help that pitcher out, you're doing your job.
Aaron, it's amazing. That's one reason I always respected you so much when you were in that White Sox uniform, because of the fact that even if things were going tough with the bat, it never came into play. You never let it affect your defense.
Well, that's the only reason I was in the big leagues.
Yeah, but it's still amazing as Segui draws the walk. It's still amazing how many guys who are playing in the big leagues right now that don't understand baseball has 2 games, an offensive game and a defensive game. And they don't understand that. You get a lot of outfielders, infielders. If they're going bad at the plate, they take that pop-up, that ground out, that strikeout, that 0 for 6, 0 for 7 out to the field with them. And you cannot get a good jump.
Not if you're concentrating on how you just popped out. No, you need to get out there and think the right way. You're out there for your teammates. You're out there for the pitcher. And that takes your frame of mind away from yourself and thinking about what you just did offensively.
Here's Gabe Kapler. He is fast becoming in just 2 games a tremendous fan favorite here at the ballpark. He's 6 for 9, 2 homers, and he's driven in 3. 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats in that Texas uniform.
Well, we broke him from that pace, at least, from that first game.
Yeah, but he impressed me, I tell you, with those couple of base hits when he drug his hands in close to his body. There's a chopper. Valentin over to Durham. Can they turn it? Rack him up. 6-4-3. Beautiful double play started by Jose Valentin, and that'll retire the side. So good defense by the Sox, and after 2 they lead it by 4. And he saw a lot of pitches in that first at-bat, which bodes well.
Well, that's one thing that the team has been indicating they want him to do a lot more this year. That's see more pitches, draw more walks. They think he's a bit of a free swinger, but that's what works for Chris. I don't understand how you can tell a guy change something that you've done your whole career. Not at this level. If you want to teach somebody that, you need to teach him in the minor leagues. Problem is, Chris wasn't in this organization in the minor leagues, so you've got to take what you've got.
I'm with you. You know, Chris hit 300 last year. Knocked in 72 runs, hit 435 with men in scoring position. A lot of that coming off left-handers. And he did a lot of that damage early in the count.
That's him being aggressive, yes.
It's that old saying, DJ, as we talk about so often. Good pitchers, you better get them early. If you don't get good pitches early, you got no chance. There's a bullet. Look at the play by Clayton. There is a gorgeous play by Royce Clayton. Ball was scalded by Singleton. That's a definite hang whoop'em.
That's a topper right there to Ray's outstanding play. Royce has to get up and throw this ball after making this outstanding play. And he does it like a cat, to his feet very quickly. Throws a strike to Segui. And you got a very fast man getting down the line, and he got him by 2 steps.
Here's Carlos. Oliver made a good pitch on him. Pulls the string right there. And a reminder, tickets for all White Sox home games are on sale now. Tickets are available at the Comiskey Park box office, the White Sox clubhouse store at Oak Brook Center, all Ticketmaster ticket centers, including Dominic's, Carson Peary Scott, and Tower Records, online at whitesox.com or by calling 312-831-1SOX. 1-1 the count to Carlos. Okay, that double play that Valentin started was a beauty as well. Pops him up right side. Segui. Now, who is it? Evans takes charge, comes on. That wind, as you can see, it's howling. Could be a definite factor in this ball game.
Well, it's amazing right there. Darren Oliver was actually trying to direct traffic right there, but he never looked at Evans over at third base. He was looking at Segui and Ivan Rodriguez all the way. He never even looked at third base. Then all of a sudden he realized, uh-oh, thank goodness Evans, we talk about him over at third base, he's acting like a big leaguer all around. He came over there and made the play because he knew he was the one that had to.
Greg Wilson fouls that pitch away. He started that 2-run second with a leadoff walk, the dreaded leadoff walk.
Came back to haunt us enough last night, didn't it?
Ooh, man. Don't bring that up. That was Euclid. Ooh. Right side. Alisea. Well, it goes back to one thing, is there's a 1-2-3 inning for Oliver. You walk 9 guys, you're supposed to lose. Meanwhile, 4-0 Sox after 2.5. Well, Mike Martin at Florida State was quite appropriate. He's always right there. Shot. Ray, no, could not. He tried to time it perfectly. Just couldn't get up high enough. And while we have a moment, let's check out what's coming your way on WGN.
He's the caveman from the Ice Age who's here to chill out in the new age. Brendan Fraser in Encino Man, the big ticket movie tonight at 8 Eastern on WGN.
Here's Tom Evans. Evans 1 for 5 in the first 2 games, but he has been very impressive down at the hot corner. Takes that fastball up high.
Boy, let me ask you a question, Hawk. Did you see what Pedro Martinez did last night?
Yeah. It doesn't surprise you, does it? As we talked about last season throughout the course of 1999, I don't know if I've ever seen a pitcher better than Pedro Martinez.
Well, he's some kind of outstanding. I don't know how you can do what he does year after year. The only player that I came across in my playing career that was even close to doing anything like that was Greg Maddux.
Well, you're talking about 2 guys with different mindsets, as we both know.
Did you see that that Sports Illustrated cover of Pedro Martinez?
Oh, man, that's,
wow.
Pedro's getting better looking all the time.
Look at that. That is one good-looking guy right there.
That's so long ago, I don't even remember that.
Oh, my.
Oh, my goodness. That's out of play right side.
Oh.
I'll tell you.
There's the real Pedro.
Yeah, there's a player.
Oh.
There's a player.
Well, I don't know. Both those Boston Stars right there.
I know one thing. Pedro would have had no problems with a Hawkaroo.
Boy, that was some get up you had working there, partner.
Look, when you get a nose as big as mine and ears as big as mine, long hair and those get-ups tend to take away from it a little bit.
Oh, my. I guess back in the day right there, that's what you did. You dressed nice like this and carried a bat.
That's the reason I got knocked down so much.
Wow. I wonder what magazine cover that was on.
Oh, get that off there, please. Full count to Evans. Big pitch right here for Parquet. I like this Tom Evans.
So far, he's definitely impressed on defense. He has not come out there defensively at all and looked like he was intimidated at all in this at the big league level.
In the first game, in the opener, I mean, Frank Thomas hit a bullet down him on a tough hop, and he made it look easy.
Smooth as silk.
And for the most part, he's still playing a stand-up third base, which I'm sure he'll change as time goes on, because you've never seen a great third baseman that was a stand-up third baseman. Most of them got their fannies down real low. You better have at the hot corner.
Well, the one thing we're talking about with Evans is that outstanding defense, but the only way you're going to stay up here is if you provide a bit of offense to go with it. So
he chases ball 4. So 1 out. And as Clayton comes up to the plate, let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN, entertaining America.
Along with Darrin Jackson, Ken Harrelson from the ballpark at Arlington. Rangers have taken the first 2 games by scores of 10-4 and 12-8. That game last night, for the most part, was just a gift to Texas.
you called it right when you said it was Ugly.
Yeah, it was. It was Ugly.
All around. Well, we did provide some good offense, some excitement offensively.
Well, the impression that you got by watching our club last night, that's what Jerry Manuel was talking about. We were discussing prior to the game. He said, Hawk, he said, this dugout is just great. He said the intensity, the attitude during the ball game. I said, Jerry, we can feel it even upstairs. He says, good, because he said it's the best it's been by far since he's been here.
Well, I don't want any of those people that are being so critical right now to jump on our bandwagon either, because you know what? It's 2 games into the season. Let's see us play some ball for a little while and then make a serious judgment. You know what? If we're playing like this 3 weeks from now, I'll be the first one to admit that I've been wrong about the attitude around here. But these guys, they've got a great attitude, and I think it's going to come into play. Things are going to turn around because they definitely want to win.
I thought your comment in the opening was so poignant only because of the fact the attitude is right where it should be. It's just so far you got so many youngsters out there, a case of nerves. That's into right field. Maggs backing up. He's there, reaches up, hauls it down. Nice recovery by Ordonez. And that's out number 2.
Boy, you hit that right on the head again. That was a nice recovery. That ball was hit. Maglio did not think that was going to end up on the warning track. Maglio had a good beat on it all the way. Good path to the ball.
Well, Maggs is a good, solid outfielder, as you know. You played with him, talked to him, you helped him out. The one area that he has got to improve on, actually the 2 areas that Maggs got to improve on. He's got a very strong throwing arm, and he's got to improve on the accuracy part. And the next thing is he can't be dependent on Ray Durham to catch all the pop-ups out there in short right field. Like we saw Ruben Mateo do earlier with Alicea. That's Mateo's ball. Sometimes Maggs gets out there, gets a little, well, I'm not going to say lazy, that's not the word, but he just depends on Ray too much when it's his play.
When you know that you have that kind of second baseman with that kind of range, you're going to go ahead and sometimes get a little lackadaisical and let him take charge when you're the one that's supposed to be taking charge out there. Ryan Sandberg, who I played with the Cubs, Rhino was not afraid to put that arm straight up in the air and point when that ball went up to let Andre Dawson know, come get it. Rhino was not a big fan of going to catch those pop-ups, so Andre knew that ahead of time.
Well, I don't think too many people had to point out too many things to Andre. Look at the pick by Wilson. Mercy, what a play by Craig, and that'll retire the side. Sox throwing some leather this afternoon, and after 3 they lead it 4-0. What a play by Craig Wilson off a bullet. That ball was scalded off the bat of Chad Curtis. DJ, this is just pure reaction.
Wow, I'll tell you what, we don't even have time to see that ball go down there, let alone Willie's already got a glove on it and comes up and fires a P over to first base.
Well, he is trying to certainly redeem himself from the opener.
I don't understand. The critics were all over him. He makes 2 errors in 1 game. Let's look at the history of the guy over there and then make a real judgment. Let's not go by 1 bad game. They sat there and said, we've got a big problem over there with that. Let's give him a little time. That's the first game of the season.
Josh Paul had himself a hit after Wilson had walked to lead off the second, and the Sox picked up a pair. To the count. Breaking ball, nice pitch by Oliver. Semi backdoor curveball. And with 1 out, let's take a look at the White Sox upcoming games brought to you by Pepsi AC. You see it tomorrow over WCIU, Channel 26, the U, in Oakland. All 3 of those games, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, over Fox. Durham fouls that one away. Nasty pitch right there to Josh Paul. So Durham 1 for 2, picked up his first hit in the second, and also his first RBI. Good change out in front.
Wow. Outstanding pitch right there, followed by that changeup that he had thrown prior to that. Paints with the fastball on the outside corner. Ray is thinking something slow. No can do.
Well, that's one of those at bats right there. You just grab some bench, tip your cap, come back and get him next time.
That's it.
Allington takes up high. Josea's walk scored and then fouled out to Ivan Rodriguez, who made a fine play going over the railing to bring it back in. There's a shot. Base hit down into the corner of Allington. You mentioned he is swinging that bat much better than he did last year from the right side. And we got an email from Bob in Des Moines asking, have the White Sox ever started off on the road with a longer road trip than this? And the answer is no. This is the longest road trip to start a season in White Sox history. Big Bob from Des Moines. They did open with 9-game trips in 1975 and 1989. But this is the longest in their history. 10 games. The thing about the 10 games, I mean, if you're going to Detroit, Cleveland, Kansas City is one thing. When you open up in Texas, then go to Oakland, and then go back to Tampa Bay, that's a bit of a stretch.
We're facing some mashers too. All 3 of these teams have nothing but mashers in their lineups.
Well, that doesn't bother me one bit there, because you got to play them, sometime.
Right.
So I don't care when we. It's just the idea of opening up with 10 games in Texas, then Oakland, then Tampa Bay, and then come back home for our opener on the 14th at 6:05 without an off day. And if you want to email us, poof, email Hawk and DJ at SoxTV at chicagosports.com. 2-1 to count to Frank. Frank has doubled. Well, from what we're seeing right here, the last 2 innings, without question, the best pitch in his repertoire is the change.
He's gone to that a lot the last couple of innings, and I don't blame him, because he was having trouble with everything else he was throwing. Right now, that's the pitch that's working for him.
Here's the 2-2. See if he backs it up with a fastball. Flips it into right field. Gabe Kapler is there, makes the catch. That'll retire the side after 3.5. Sox on top, 4-0.
battle the Bucks. Thursday at 8 Eastern.
Ivan Rodriguez leads off the Ranger fourth. 4-5-0 for the Sox. 0-2-0 for Texas. Rodriguez has one of those 2 hits. It was just a screaming Mimi by Ray Durham. Rodriguez 4 for 8 in the first 2 games. Takes that fastball outside. He also now is 4 for 7 lifetime against Parquet. Good change, good motion by Jimmy. You know, Darrin, I'm not so sure, just after watching this guy over the last few seasons, I'm not so sure that if you had a tie game, bottom of the 9th inning, man in second, 2 out, I'd just soon have this guy at the plate as anybody in baseball.
Depends on what side of the coin you're sitting on there.
I'm talking about to drive him in. A ball hit hard. Maggs is back there. Hang whooping for Ivan.
I can put him up there with most of the guys that I would like to have up there in those situations, that's for sure.
I'm not so sure that I wouldn't take him. I mean, Junior's the best player I've ever seen. Junior's a great hitter. There's no question about that. But I'm not so sure that I wouldn't put Ivan Rodriguez up there to get in. That's the toughest run in baseball to knock in anyway. Man in second, 2 out.
There's a couple guys that I can personally say that I'd love to see in those positions. One would have to be Barry Bonds to me. He's one of the most unbelievable clutch hitters I've ever seen. Put him up there in those situations. He thrives on that.
I haven't seen him play that much. There's a breaking ball strike to Palmeiro, but I know that everybody I talk to, they reiterate and echo your sentiments.
Well, one thing about Barry is I've always thought that he and King Griffey Jr. are the best players in baseball, period, to me. The difference is there's
a shot into right field. So Palmeiro is now 5 for 11 lifetime against Parquet.
The difference between Jr. and Barry is their personalities, and I think Jr.'s personality sells him to baseball a little better than Barry's. So he comes out on top on most categories because of his personality.
Well, Junior's a great representative of the game because of his attitude. He wants to win. He plays hard. He never dogs it. And he's just like a big kid out there.
That's what makes it fun to watch him. He does seem like a kid playing a game.
I love to watch Junior play. There's a breaking ball strike to Mateo, who was robbed of a base hit on a brilliant play by Durham. I don't know if Ruben can hit the ball any harder than he did, and it was just a great reaction from Ray. Ball hit hard. That's in the center field for a base hit. Got that changeup up out over the plate. So here come the Rangers with 1 out, 2 on.
Oh my. Pulled the string on that and left it way up. That's that young Latin hitter that you talk about. They can hit the ball from over their head to their toes. They go up there swinging to hit the ball.
Well, that's the way they're taught. That's the way they're taught, and that's the way I think everybody should be taught. You know, sometimes you try to help a youngster so much that you overcoach him. You want them to learn the strike zone. You want them to be patient at the plate. And then they become a little defensive.
I was quite the opposite. I was told when I was 17 years old, you do not ever want to strike out looking. I had a very good eye at that time. I didn't think the umpires were very good at that time, so I took pitches that I thought were balls. Then they tell me, anything close, you better swing at it. Guess what? Right after that, I was striking out 100+ times a year. Anything close to the plate, I was hacking. That was probably the worst advice I was ever told as a minor league player.
0-1 to count to David Segui. He walked his first trip. Now time is called. And a reminder, White Sox schedule posters from Miller Lite. You can get them April 21st, 22nd, and 23rd when the Tigers are in town. All adults attending the weekend series will take home a White Sox schedule poster. Compliments of Miller Lite. Game time Friday at 7:05. Saturday and Sunday at 1:05. For tickets, dial 312-831. One Sox. Curveball, good one. Just down a little bit low. You don't miss. That's where you want to miss. Right back play that Parquet could have made. He didn't. And here comes Palmeiro. It's a 4-1 ball game. It would have been a good play, but certainly a play he could have got a glove on.
Well, you have emphasized before how the defense on the mound last year was not very stellar, so when you see a ball go up the middle like that, it's not going to surprise anybody.
That'll bring up the right fielder, Gabe Kapler. Hit the ball hard his first trip. Jose Valentin going into the hole started a 6-4-3 double play, doubling up the speedy Kapler. So this is the second time around for the Rangers. In this inning, Rodriguez started it off with a line shot right up against the fence in right field that Ordonez hauled in. And Palmeiro with a line drive base hit as there's a good pitch. Wilson cuts in front, goes over to Konerko, and that's out number 2. Good play by Willie.
Boy, you'd like to see Willie go over and make that play right there, and he made it look very easy. That's ranging far to your left. He's standing way over in front of the shortstop making that play. On the run, making a perfect throw.
Meanwhile, here's Babe Alicea. Luis Alicea, he's 4 for 5 in this series. And he's 4 for 5 lifetime off Parquet.
I remember last year, Alicea did some damage against us last year. He had 201 last year, and he killed us.
Outfield short and center and right. There's a chopper 2-hop. Ray's got him over to Konerko, and that'll retire the side, but Texas gets on the board, and we'll go to the 5th. It is 4-1 good guys.
Thank goodness that was Josh Paul's hustle all the way. You hit a ball like that, and the first thing you're thinking is, I didn't get the job done, and Josh picked him up.
Into the hole. Nice pick by Clayton right over the top. And the throw draws Segui off the bag.
That's a good call.
Yeah, from up here, it looked like it. Well, that was a nice pick by Royce.
He's got tremendous range into the hole. He's got the arm to back it up.
David Segui, a very fine first baseman. Tie goes to the runner. Good call by Paul Emmel. So they give an error to Clayton. That's a tough play going that far in the hole coming up. But a good throw would have got him, no question about that. 1-1 the count to Konerko. Paul has doubled in a run, and he's popped up to Segui at first.
Boy, you can see that Paul just caught fire the second half last year. Had a solid first half, but that second half was very, very solid.
Well, he gained a lot of experience, and I think most of it came from the mirror.
Well, we always talk about Paul's confidence. He has confidence in his ability.
He does that, and that's a compliment. He has that almost what you would call supreme confidence in himself.
Well, there's a big difference when I say confidence to cockiness. He's not cocky. He's just a very confident guy that knows that he can play at this level, and he has a certain, I'd say, a certain amount of ability on a daily basis that he thinks he should play up to.
Well, he certainly is in a position to acquire that supreme confidence, and that, of course, is what defines, watch out, what defines your outstanding performers from your good performers, from your mediocre performers. It's not so much talent. It's just what that mirror tells you. That mirror will tell you a lot of things.
Definitely will do that. If you look in that mirror, you better be able to know what it can do for you.
You got to be able to like what you see. Pretty good lead by Maggs as he takes off. Watch out. High throw by, wow. You don't see Von Rodriguez do that very often. Maggs picks up a stolen base.
Boy, we are not holding back anything. Boy, I'll tell you what, looks like Maglio is running down there as if that was a hit and run. He's watching the play all the way.
I like the aggressiveness that the Sox have shown on the base paths here in the first 3 games opening up this new season. Last year, the Sox were not that aggressive on the base paths. Jerry said he's going to be much more aggressive this year.
Last year, we said we were going to do that too. We didn't do it. We started the season out that way. Then things kind of changed. I'd like to see it continue through the whole year. If we can continue through the whole year, then you're going to be an aggressive team. We're going to make the other team have to do something different. Make them have to all of a sudden change their game plan.
This is a tough guy to be aggressive on, but we've done it. Out in front of the change, hooks it foul.
Kind of sends a message to the whole league. If we're going to do it against Ivan, we'll do it against everybody.
.93 he has run up to home plate in 4+ innings. Kenny Rogers threw 88 through 8 innings as he picked up the victory opening day. Boy, he was, if you missed that ball game, he was just masterful out there. Line drive, and they do not get him.
Woo. That's some kind of close.
Well, again, Konerko trying to do the right thing and getting him over.
This is going to be a very close play. Oh, we missed the replay there. Boy, I'll tell you what, that was a very close play. Should not be that close. Maglio had nowhere to go but back to the base on this ball. Whether it hits the dirt or not, he's not going to be able to advance on it.
Chris Singleton takes it up high. Chris has walked. Then he was robbed of a base hit on a beautiful play by Royce Clayton. Gorgeous day here in Arlington, Texas. We mentioned not a cloud in the sky, but that wind blowing hard in right center field as that pitch fouled away. And a reminder for Sox fans 14 and under, you can join the Coca-Cola Silver and Black Pack Kids Fan Club for just $15, and members receive free White Sox tickets and cool souvenirs, plus a chance to participate in an on-field parade. So just dial 312-674-5367 for a Silver and Black Pack application. To the chopper, Oliver. Goes over to Segui as Maggs waited, now moves into third. So here's Carlos. He's due. Oliver probably has pitched Carlos the first 2 at bats tougher than anybody in this lineup so far.
He knows who's the hot bat on this lineup right now, and that'd be Carlos Lee all the way. 2 outstanding games the first of this season.
Outside 2-0. Craig Wilson on deck. Outfield for the most part straight up, spread out. Three 0. Turn him loose. All right, look at the signs from Wallace. No signs. And you've forgotten already.
No. He just gave him the turn it loose swing right there. Yeah, I've forgotten him.
We talked about that in the spring. It's amazing how quickly you forget those signs.
I've been watching some of them, and I've been wrong every time.
Strike on the inside corner.
He changed them on me. That's the only reason.
Turn him around. 45. Good hack.
I can tell you one thing. Today, Oliver has gotten away with more high fastballs than Helling even came close to getting away with yesterday.
Well, the reason being is he's had a real good change.
Big difference in pitching, I guess. Left-hander get up there, get that good changeup that's tailing away, throw that high fastball and get away with it.
Ball hit just foul. A lot of topspin. Especially a left-hander. If he has a good changeup, Oliver has a good motion with his.
I faced a lot of left-handers that threw high fastballs like Oliver's doing today. Jim DeShays, Dennis Rasmussen, Tom Browning, and they all had outstanding changeups to back them up.
There's a shot. 2 out, knocked by Carlos as Ordonez scores. Carlos on his way to second. He will get there, and it's a 5-1 ball game. Attaboy, Carlos.
Well, now you know why he was pitching him so tough earlier in the game.
I don't know if I would have come close to giving him anything like that 3-2 pitch right there with Wilson on deck the way Carlos has been swinging the bat.
Carlos makes a lot of adjustments. That pitch was just a little bit lower than the high fastballs that he had just fouled off. So he's making an adjustment. He's getting on top of it now, taking that RBI.
And here's Craig. Hits this one into right center field. Tick down. Mateo. He can't get there. Here comes Carlos.
Got to go,
Wilson
Willie. Got to
on
go.
his way to second, and he's safe.
Very nice.
6-1. Sox on top. Attaboy, Willie. Throwing some leather and swinging some wood.
Boy, you can see from up here that ball just started tailing away from Mateo down out in the outfield. Looked like he had a beat on that ball, and it just went straight down and away from him. Kapler doing an outstanding job backing him up, making this play close at second base with that excellent arm of his.
So the 29-year-old southpaw will depart. 2 unearned runs cross the plate for the Sox here in the top of the 5th inning. Sox lead it by 5. Breaking the action, and we'll be back with the numbers on Matt Parrish Show. Couple of 2-out RBI doubles by Carlos Lee and Craig Wilson, and the Sox, after the error by Royce Clayton, then the stolen base by Ordonez, pick up 2 unearned runs. 6-7-0 for the Sox, 1-5-1 for Texas, and that'll bring on the 24-year-old southpaw Matt Parrish Show. What he did last year at Okie City, 15-7, 461. Made 27 starts. The Mad, who now resides in Chandler, Arizona, on in relief of Darren Oliver. Partial line on Oliver, 4 2/3, 6 runs, 4 earned, 7 hits, 4 walks, 1 intentional, and he had 2 strikeouts. Here's Josh Paul. Josh 1 for 2, a single, and he has scored a run. Don't stop now, young man.
Big 2-out hit.
Those, and you know, when you're standing out there and you're on the receiving end of this 2-out hitting, that just absolutely takes a lot of that wind out of the sail.
It does. When you're on defense and you think you're about to get out of the inning like that, just need one more out, hit it at somebody, kind of just demoralizes you. You just are like, you got to be kidding me.
Josh takes that ball high out of the zone. Ray Durham on deck. Slate of action around the American League. Another game show: New York at Anaheim, Detroit at Oakland, Boston at Seattle. Twinkies hosting the Devil Rays at Skydome. Kansas City will take on the Blue Jays, and Cleveland at Baltimore. Way high, 2-0. Over the National League, Mets at Shea against the Padres. Colorado at Turner Field in Atlanta. San Francisco at Florida. Dodgers take on the Expos up in Canada. Cincinnati at Synergy Field against the Brewers. Houston at Pittsburgh, and the Cubs take on the Cardinals in St. Louis. Good hack. Oh boy, Josh, get a count. Give yourself a chance to do some damage. Hit well. Booted by Clayton, as now Wilson will hold at third.
Wow, that's a play that Clayton was making look easy a little bit earlier in the game. Kind of handcuffed himself right there.
They give him an infield single, and here's Ray. Ray 1 for 3 with a ribby. Takes it up high.
I guess they figure if Royce does not make that play, it couldn't be made.
Is that what he's figuring?
If that's an infield hit, that's what he must have been figuring.
I love it when you analyze. Here's a strike on the outside corner. 6-8-0 for the Sox, 1-5-1 for the Rangers. Short lead by Paul. Good changeup right there from Matt Parashil. Cinch it up, Ren. Cinch it up. There's a shot. Look at the play. Look at the pick by Segui. A bullet. Oh, he did not make the play. I thought he made the play.
Wow. Not many people can make a play on a bullet like that.
Get ready to say that would have been unreal. Look at that effort. That's just. Now you can see how fast that ball gets to these infielders.
Not much time to react. I was always out there in the safe zone, out there in the outfield. Bring me in that infield and get me hurt.
I think Ray thought he caught it as well. There, they shot just foul. Sox with 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 so far here in the top of the 5th. Big gap in left center. Ray out in front of that change. Well, you know how intense Ray Durham can get. Ray is at that point right now where he's got to use some of his experience, DJ, and let the game come back to him.
I think that's exactly what he's going to do. He's relaxed. He knows it's only 2 games into the season.
Up high.
Doesn't hurt that you've already talked to him and sat there and had a little session. Thinking session, that is.
You know one thing, that's just a ton of talent wearing that number 5 as he fights that fastball off. Good catch by one of the youngsters. He's now shaking that hand out.
I know whenever I would sit in the seats behind a baseball field, I got out of the way of a foul ball.
I got out of the way of him at first base and right field. And I brought my glove with me. There's a good piece of 2-out hitting. Pokes it into right field. Didn't get too greedy on that one. And it's a 7-1 game. All 3 runs coming with 2 out here in the top of the 5th.
Wow, that's impressive there. Fight off the foul ball after foul ball after foul ball. The jump out there on that outside corner, hit that, just like you said, he did not get greedy. Took what he gave him. Drove in that big 2-out RBI.
There's a good at bat. And here is Jose Valentin. He's 1 for 2. A walk, a run scored, and a double. Good change. Turned it over, grabbed a strike to even the count at 1. Takes that one inside. So good speed aboard. Yeah, with a catcher at second base. Good speed aboard with Josh Paul and Ray Durham. Outstanding speed at first. Get your little gapper right here and let's watch Ray run.
Take those short, choppy, hard steps that he takes.
Well, he was a great defensive back in high school, sought after by everybody. You can imagine as a receiver if he hit you.
Boy, I heard some of the talks between Chris and him last year about football. It was getting old. He actually thought he would. They actually both thought they were good football players. Chris brought in a videotape to try and back it up last year.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
Now, that's stretching a little bit, isn't it?
He got tired of hearing all those guys talk about him in football. They all asked to see Frank. Frank brought in nothing.
A pitch foul back. I was talking in spring training. As a matter of fact, I was at the golf course and talking to a fan who went to school with Frank in Columbus in high school. And he said Frank hit him one time, and he said he still hadn't recovered from it. Jose fighting that pitch back.
I think Frank was entirely too nice for football. He made the right choice and stayed with baseball. Thank goodness, because Frank has some of the most unbelievable career stats. I was checking before the game, and Frank is in the top of 11 of 12 offensive categories for the Chicago White Sox in the history of this game. And it's a long history for this team.
Pull the string on him, made a nice pitch. Had him out front, but the Sox do some damage, coming up with 3 runs. We are halfway home, leading by a half a dozen. against the Anaheim Angels on April 14th at 6:05 at Comiskey Park. First game of the year. All fans will receive a first edition Collector's Series opening night pin, White Sox magnetic schedule, and the first Comiskey Park fireworks show of the season. All courtesy of Coca-Cola. Opening night tickets are now on sale. Dial 312-831-1 Sox. I love fireworks. And I love home openers. Third baseman Tom Evans fouls that fastball back. Struck out on a 3-2 fastball up out of the zone his first trip. Just off the inside corner. Good effort. Good pitch by Parquet. Even if you don't get it, you still got to let these right-handed hitters know you will come inside.
I'd like to see him back it up again in there.
Double them up. And even triple them up.
You usually catch a hitter off guard if you'll double and triple a guy up in there.
You know, you and I were having a conversation last year on the plane with a couple of our pitchers, and you were explaining to them right there, they just don't understand from a hitting standpoint, when you got a guy out there 60 feet away who you know will double you or even triple you up inside with a fastball, they don't understand the ramifications of that in your psyche.
It just changes your whole mental approach to hitting, because it doesn't happen very often. So when it does happen, you're all of a sudden going, whoa, if he'll come in there once, twice, 3 times, why not 4? That just opens up the whole plate for you.
Full count. No walks. Parkey, no walks. Now the inning 3-2 first time, as I mentioned, threw him a high fastball that he chased. See if he'll come with a strike. Make him swing the bat. Off-speed pitch, flips it into right field. Now you can live with that. What you can't live with is that dreaded leadoff walk.
No, you can live with that. That's just a good piece of hitting right there, because Jim didn't just lay a fastball down the middle for him to hit. He threw him an off-speed pitch. So that's a good piece of hitting by Evans.
Line on Jimmy, 59 pitches he has run up there. So Evans now 2 for 7 on the series. And here's Royce Clayton looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 10. Strike on the inside corner. Well, from that shot right there, looks a little bit like a young Lou Piniella.
He sure does, doesn't he?
Only Evans is much, much better looking.
I will not argue that point with you.
Oh, Lou, I remember him when he was a rookie. Oh. By Konerko. Clayton on his way to second. Well, here come the Rangers. 2 on, nobody out. There's a play that Paul has just got to make sure he knocks down.
That ball just ate him up. He tried to get over in front of it, throw his body in front of it, never even got a piece of his body on it. Scoot over. Whoop. Thought he was down, and he was up.
All right, now here's where Parquet has just got to put that out of his mind and stay away from a real big inning. Even if both these guys score, you got to get the hitter as Chad Curtis. Curtis is struck out. Then he was robbed of a base hit on a beautiful play by Craig Wilson. A bullet just off the outside corner. 2-0 the count.
Boy, you said it right a minute ago, Hawk, when you said that right here he's got to bear down he needs to pick up the teammates right here. He's got to do his job right now and say, okay, they picked me up. They've made some nice plays behind me. Now it's my job to get these guys out and pick my teammates up.
Well, that is the mentality that you have to have. You have got to have that. As sometimes you go out there, you get an umpire that you feel like is squeezing you a little bit. Certainly not that. By the way, the umpiring in the first 3 games has been really solid, real good. But a lot of times you might feel like you're being squeezed, and you got to take the mentality, hey, I don't need you. I'm going to get these guys out on my own. Turns it over. And the count 3-1. The big thing here is staying away from a 3 or 4 run inning.
We can take 1, 2. That's fine. We've got a big enough lead right now, but we need to get the outs. It's like running the clock down with a couple minutes left and a 10-point lead in a basketball game.
Had to load them up. And here comes Nardi Contreras. At this point, no activity down in the Sox pen. Well, here Nardi's just going to try to settle him down a little bit, because as we were talking about the best way to approach it from a pitcher's standpoint, the worst way is if in fact you got it in your mind that you're upset with a play not being made or a call not being made by the umpire. That's the worst thing you can have in your mind. Because now, for some reason, it just absolutely gives you a little bit of a brain cramp out there. Rather than, and that's a negative thought, puts you on the defense. Whereas in this situation right here, you have got to go on the offense.
You've got to still remember, you can't do it by yourself. You've got those guys out there. You still have to rely on them no matter what. You try to take it in all, do it all by yourself, it becomes that much more difficult. You see, he's trying to throw those perfect pitches instead of relying on his defense. And now we've got the bases loaded because of it.
And you got double trouble at the plate. Ivan Rodriguez has been there twice. There's a shot base hit, hard hit. That's going to score a pair with Curtis in the third. So it's a 7-3 ball game. Runners at the corners.
Goes up there with nothing to wait for. Pitch right there, bases loaded. He's ready to hit.
He drives the ball extremely hard to right field. He doesn't hit it to right. He drives it to right field.
He didn't get greedy there, you know.
No.
He's not sitting there thinking grand slam. He's thinking, okay, stay inside the ball and hit a line drive anywhere over the field. Took the pitch that he had and hit a bullet right past Ray. Ray couldn't get to that.
Here's Palmeiro. He's 1 for 2. That's deep into right center field. Mag's back, looks up. A 3-run homer, and it's a 7-6 game.
Sweet swing on an off-speed pitch out over the plate.
Palmeiro now 5 for 12 in this series with 2 homers and 7 RBIs. Now the Sox going to try to buy a little time.
Boy, with this Texas lineup, boy, you can't have a lapse in your concentration for a minute.
Sean Lowe. As here comes Jerry Manuel. Well, one of the things that Jimmy's got to learn as well is we got to go back to the leadoff man, Tom Evans, in this inning. He went deep in the count to Evans, trying to make some good pitches. Finally got 3-2, and he started it off with a base hit. When you got a 6-run lead like that, you got to come out and get that leadoff man, and you don't want to go deep in the count. You got to make him swing the bat early. So Parquet will depart. He works 4+. Gives up 6 runs earned on 9 hits. Sean Lowe comes on, and we'll be back. A 7-6 ball game as the Rangers have put a 5 spot on the board here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Still nobody out. All started with a 3-2 base hit to right field by Evans. The double by Clayton. Ball that could have been knocked down. And then he walked Curtis. Rodriguez with a bullet 2-run single, then the 3-run homer by Rafael Palmeiro. So here's Sean. Last year really did a better job than those numbers, which are good. Look, there is ball 1 to Ruben Mateo. Mateo 1 for 2. Pitch followed by ball. Took a little bit of a funny hop right there, so that'll be an error on Valentin.
Hawk, I think you said it right. It took a kind of funny hop right there at the last second. Just hopped up and ate him up. He didn't reach out to play this ball. He played that ball a little deep into his body. Didn't reach out in front and get to it, and allowed it to take that last bad hop on him.
So here's David Seguilla walking an RBI single. Mateo, the tying run at first. Last year at Oklahoma City, Ruben only attempted 9 stolen bases, and he was successful 6 times. So the 3rd time around was the undoing for Jim Parquet. You know, in today's game, Darrin Jackson, when you get to that 3rd time around in a lineup, you better have something for him.
Well, you better have a game plan for it.
That's what I'm saying. You better have something for him. And it's certainly not going to be because you have different pitches to show him or you're going to throw harder. But you better have something for him mentally.
It's a different approach you have to take. You can't just keep doing the same thing that you've been doing. If you got them out the first 2 times, which Jim did, he went through the lineup pretty good those first couple of times that he faced them. You've got to know that 3rd time around these guys are going to make an adjustment. So you, before the game even starts, have to know if you're going to have that kind of success. You have to make an adjustment back to them.
Good rip by Segui, fouls it back. 1-1 the count. Outfield around to the left, gap in right center field. 7-9-1 for the Sox. 6-9-1 for the Rangers. Talk about letting the game come to you inside the game itself each and every time. 162 games. What your good clubs do is they do it more often than other clubs. They let the game come to them inside the game. Each game is different and unique, and those good clubs just go out there and they keep more or less a steady balance of a mindset. There's a shot base hit into center field. So still nobody out, 2 on. They don't get excited too much when they're down, nor they get that excited when they're up.
Well, one thing right now, the White Sox have to realize they're still winning this game.
Yeah.
They're not losing this game. You just kind of all of a sudden get a feeling that they're a little dejected down there because things aren't going right. But they're still winning this game. And if you realize that, you got to realize, hey, we're winning this game and we're going to do a lot more damage than what we've done so far.
And my partner is speaking from experience. You know, you can go down and talk to young players. Scott Air loosening up with the Sox down in the pen. And they still have to find that out for themselves.
That comes with a lot of experience, yes.
Kapler, not a good swing on that hook from Sean. Kapler 0 for 2 is hit into a 6-4-3 double play, and he's grounded to third.
Maybe we found something here. He looked pretty bad on that breaking ball. He's hit everything else.
Everything out over the plate, and then yesterday he hit a couple of inside pitches. They just flipped them in there for base hits.
Right there, 2 very slow breaking balls. That might be the route we have to take for a little while.
There's another one. Right to the bag and it's foul. So with a count, no balls, 2 strikes. Kapler will return to the plate. And right now, let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN, entertaining America.
Along with Darrin Jackson, DJ, Ken Harrelson from the ballpark at Arlington, third of this 4-game set. Sox coming into this inning, we're leading 7-1. He's gone. Another breaking ball in the dirt. He'll grab some bench for out number 1.
Well, there we have it. The jury's in. We found out the way to get the man out.
Took a lot off that hook, and he could not lay off of it. So it might be fastballs up, curveballs down. How long has that been around in baseball?
Oh, I've heard that as long as I was in the business.
Up and in, low and away.
That's it.
Low, slow, high, hard. Here's Alicea. Alicea 1 for 2. Outfield Singleton real short and center. There's a strike.
That's good. Chris has no business playing Luis very deep. He's going to hit it out there. Chris should have a chance to run under any deep fly balls. His kind of speed out in center field.
And Chris moving Carlos Lee around a couple of steps. Chopper. That's a fair ball. Wilson steps on the bag over to Konerko, and that'll retire the side, but some serious damage done by the Rangers. Coming up with 5. We'll go to the 6th, leading by 1. Where last year they won 95 ball games, finishing 8 in front of Oakland. So it'll be Thomas, Ordonez, and Konerko to face Matt Parashio. Frank 1 for 2, a double, a run scored, and an intentional walk as he takes that pitch inside. To another count. And this is when, you know, you give up those 5 runs, Darrin, and you go back to that dugout. Somebody's got to say, hey, fellas, let's forget about it. Look up at the scoreboard. Look at who's winning this game. Look at the scoreboard.
You've got to keep that same feeling that you had all through the game, which is you guys are in charge. They're still in charge. They're not losing. They're still winning. As long as you realize that, you're going to end up on top. You've got no reason not to keep working hard the way they've been working hard and scoring more runs. Sometimes you just kind of feel like the tide's turned on you, but you've got to change that mentally. You've got to sit there and say to yourself, no, it hasn't.
You got, well, as you said earlier, a lot of times, you know, in this game or in any sport, you got to trick yourself.
That's exactly what it comes down to a lot of the times. It's just a mind game with yourself.
Momentum is huge. That's up high, ball 4. So while we have a moment, let's check out what's coming your way right here over WGN.
He's a troubleshooter, a detective, and a teacher all rolled into one. And he's ready to begin his next impossible mission. Catch MacGyver tonight at 11 Eastern on WGN.
Here's Mags, 0 for 1. 2 sacrifice flies. He scored a run. And he's stolen a base. Kershaw takes something off that, turns it over. Almost vis-a-vis a little bit of a screwball.
Bringing back that old left-hander the Rangers had for a little while, Craig Lefferts and his little screwball.
Craig Lefferts. That's a name out of the past. I used to like to watch him run in and run out.
Lefty.
Good guy. Big rip by Mags. Good hack. Got a good pitch to hit, but he's down in the count 1-2. Ordonez, one of the livest bats in the American League.
Alive and heavy.
Breaking ball, low and inside, 2-2. First and 30. Uh-oh. Wrong spot. Rack him up. So the Rangers, who turned 4 double plays behind Kenny Rogers in Game 1, pick up their 5th of the season. And here's Konerko. Ball, an RBI double in the first. He's 1 for 3.
Let's get that 2-out rally going again that we had earlier. When we had that big inning earlier in the game.
Now, as you mentioned last night, this ball club, for the most part, is a very solid contact team. They don't strike out a whole bunch.
No, they're not going to. Nothing's changed from last year. You'd actually expect these guys to probably have about the same type of strikeout numbers compared to last year, except for they should have better results because they know the league better. Strikeouts are something that are just going to come and go, depending on the quality of pitching, but I think the production should be a little better than last year for most of these guys.
Count hangs at 0-2. Well, what usually happens is, as you mentioned, with a young club coming up, the strikeouts sometimes do remain the same. But the balls they put into play are hit harder with that extra year's experience.
Yes, they have that that familiarity of knowing these pitchers better now. So, in turn, you should be able to have better at-bats against these guys.
And the most important thing is they know themselves a little better. There's a good changeup as Konerko goes down. So nothing across. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 7-6 White Sox. 7-9-1 for the Sox. 6-10-1 for Texas. Here's a man who started it off last inning. Tom Evans started off with a 3-2 base hit to right field. Takes down low, ball 1. Outfield straight away for this 25-year-old youngster. There's a good strike on the outside part. Evens the count at 1. Only one other game in progress in the American League. Bottom of the 6th inning in Oakland. Athletics leading the Tigers 4-1. Him right here, Sean.
You know, Sean is a very good pitcher. Not power pitcher, just a pitcher.
Got him on the outside corner. Fastball just nailed him, so he'll grab some bench. Out number 1.
There's such a difference in being one of those power pitchers or just known for being a control pitcher. Sean is just a pitcher. He'll throw anything he's got at you. Change the sequences, hit the corners, you name it. He's pitching.
Clayton cutting and slashing, fouls that one away. And a reminder, the Sox 7, that's a special discounted 7-game White Sox ticket plan where you can choose any 6 home games and receive a 7th game for just $1 per ticket. So for more information, dial 312-674-1000. Breaking pitch out of play, and very quickly the count 0-2. Well, Sean is not afraid to throw first pitch strike. The most important pitch in baseball.
He's not afraid to do that. You could talk to Sean about pitching, and the first thing he'll say to you is that he's got to do whatever it takes to get the job done. If that's getting ahead of the hitters, he's going to do it. He knows how hard it was for him to make this team last year and stick with this team, and that is getting ahead of the hitters and being a good pitcher.
Just did get a piece of that breaking ball. That's down low. If you're just tuning in, Sox with 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the 5th. Texas with 1 in the 4th and 5 in the 5th. Just 1 home run in the ball game. 3-run blast by Rafael Palmeiro. What new is there's a good hook. He'll grab some bench, so 2 gone. I love the way that Sean will take a little something off that curveball, especially when he's got 2 strikes on a guy. He did it with Kapler, threw him some curveballs, and when he struck him out on that low, slow curveball. Here's Curtis. Fastball up and in.
Boy, it's just like you have 2 breaking balls. It's the same pitch, just 2 different speeds. You see it come out of his hand, you think it's the same pitch. You swing at it like it was the pitch just before that. It just doesn't get there at the same time.
Now, some pitchers will use a variance or a change of speed on their breaking ball. Some will use it to get ahead. Others will use it as a put-away pitch. It's just like guys with a good splitter and or a good spitter. A lot of guys use it to get ahead, where a lot of guys will use it to put you away with it. They won't show it to you, and they have 2 strikes.
As a hitter, you better know when he's going to use it, because you don't want to be caught off guard with any kind of trick pitch.
Curveball low.
I always hated the fact that a guy would show me his trick pitch for the first time when I had 2 strikes on me.
Oh, yeah. That's a good pitcher you were facing.
No, I hated that.
Well, as we talked about, you better have something for these guys if you're a starter especially. Full count. You better have something for these guys once you get in that 3rd rotation around that lineup. Either physically or, most importantly, mentally.
Well, that's my favorite part of the game, is the mental part of it. So I got to go with the mental part. You better have something mentally later in the game to beat your opponent. Because he sees what you've got physically after those first couple of at-bats.
Yeah, you're not going to go out there in the third time around and reach back and add another 6 or 8 inches on your fastball.
Not at all.
Now you can add a little more movement on it. There's a hook. He's gone. Sean Lowe strikes out the side. And we'll go to the 7th, leading by 1. Has 4 strikeouts. In fact, in the opener, he came in, 1 out, a couple of guys on, threw a double play to get out of a jam, which the Sox eventually lost that game 10-4. But at that time, it was tight. So a good performance by the right-hander, as Chris Singleton will lead it off. 7-9-1 for the Sox, 6-10-2 for Texas. It'll be Singleton, Lee, and Wilson. Chris 0 for 2 with a walk. Takes that pitch inside. All right, boys, let's go to work. Boy, bottom part of the lineup do a little damage.
I'll tell you what, Chris has got that first baseman and third baseman playing him tight with those bunt attempts that he's already shown them that he's willing to do.
That's beautiful. Even if you, now he, in the opener, laid down a bunt, gave it away, as you mentioned, too early. Tom Evans came in, made an easy play on him, but yet because of that, now he's created a lot of space for himself up until 2 strikes, which it is right now. So now they move back.
But boy, yes, it gives him an opportunity to get a ball past them that would not normally be there. But if you'll show them you'll do it, it opens up those holes for you.
There's a shot off the glove of Alicea. It appeared Singleton on his way to second with a leadoff double. Boy, Chris. Third hit given up by Matt Parasho.
Wow, that was a nice level swing by Chris. Snapped that bat head right out through the hitting zone. Alicea does not have leaping ability. That was right off the tip of the glove.
So here's Carlos. Carlos 1 for 3, an RBI double in the 5th. Parasho turns it over, misses down low. Parasho has got to make some good pitches right here on this young man.
I hope he does not.
He better make some good pitches to Carlos.
Carlos is he's going to try and take that approach of hitting that line drive into right field, not to just get him over swing.
2-0.
Right now with Chris out there on second base. Carlos has that job that he's thinking about doing. Getting him over, getting him in at the same time would be really nice.
Activity for the Wranglers. Jeff Zimmerman. 3-0. Take the base on ball. Don't help him out.
Well, I think Carlos is one of those guys on this team that's not going to have any problem being up there, being patient. 3-0, he'll let this ball go by.
Well, yeah, he's taking all the way right here. But this is the next pitch that he's got to not help him out on. Those 3-1 counts just jump out. Pretty good pitch right there to hit, and that's full. Now, Carlos is one of the more patient young Latin hitters you want to see. I think the most patient Latin hitter I ever played against, without a doubt, was Tony Oliva.
Tony Oliva.
Tony, what a great hitter he was.
I loved watching him play.
That's way outside ball 4, so the Sox 2 on, nobody out. Tony Oliva, one of the great hitters in the history of this game. So Dick Bosman coming out, to talk about the situation. Craig Wilson at the plate. Rangers be looking for that bunt.
Go out there and discuss that right now, just as Craig Wilson's going over to talk to Wallace Johnson. Make sure that he's got everything down that he needs to get down. So
they will return And a reminder, you can visit the official website of the White Sox at www.whitesox.com. The fun, interactive place for White Sox fans of all ages. You can find the latest team news, interactive features, ticket details, promotions, live audio of games, and much, much more. 25,544 in attendance. Evans right at the cut of the grass at third. Segui playing behind Carlos at first. And there's ball one. Don't have him out. Make him bury himself.
Well, this is one area that last year we had lots of trouble getting the job done with the bunts. Let's try and turn that around this season and get the job done. I was one of those guys that had a lot of trouble with it last year. I don't know what the problem was.
Attaboy. Let him hang himself.
You called it. Don't help him out.
Segui now playing in front of Carlos. The last two pitches. Fastball on the outside corner. Just on the outside edge of the outside corner. Rich Rieker behind the plate. Paul Emmel at first. Jerry Davis, a crew chief at second, and Jim Joyce over at third. The men in blue this afternoon, as we mentioned, first three games have been well called. Davis, Joyce, and Rieker this afternoon.
Very consistent.
Yeah. There's a bunt. Bobbled momentarily. Now he recovers, goes over to Alicea. So a good job by Wilson. Sacrifice 1-4. And here comes Johnny Oates. That'll be all for Matt Parrish show. As Josh Paul will be the hitter. So breaking the action. And we'll be back with the numbers on the right-hander Jeff Zimmerman.
Am I on? Geico Direct could save you.
Josh Paul. So Josh had a good game. He was 2 for 3. He also scored on a sacrifice fly to the second baseman, Luis Alicea. Here's Mags. Now watch this. You see Mateo just ambling in. That ball had a lot of hang time. There's where Mateo's got to come in, take that ball. As Alicea backing up, and with a good speed of Josh, he scores easy.
You called it there earlier that they just gave us a run right there. That's exactly what happened, because you saw that right there. Mateo just slowly coming in, not in a hurry to get there, thinking that there's no way this ball can be tagged up on. Josh proved him wrong.
So here's Norton, still nursing that sore hamstring. Pinch hit last night. He just missed one. Look what he did in the spring. That awesome.
That's a lot of damage. I might have never had 30 RBIs in my total in big league spring trainings ever combined.
Rangers with the infield in, outfield around to the left. Strike on the outside corner. Martin didn't like that call.
Come on now, let it go. They're gonna throw you. Come on now, see it.
Won't try to do too much. Let it come to you. Put it in place. 7-6 on top. Sox on top here in the top of the 7th inning.
You need to have Norty hit one of those fly balls about 1 inch track deep, just like he did last night.
Oh, come on, Norty.
Well, the last couple of days of spring training were really tough on the Sox. There's Brian Simmons with that popped Achilles. Brian, we hope you're doing well. Brian hit a bullet into right center field, going for 3, and all of a sudden that Achilles snapped on him. And then Norton pulled a hamstring. As Zimmerman strikes him out on 3 pitches, a big strikeout, 2 gone. And it's up to Ray Durham.
Zimmerman throws him 3 straight breaking balls. This last one, major drop on it. That's that same thing you and I were talking about earlier in the game about going back to back to back with the pitch. A lot of times that hitter does not think you're going to do it. Triple it up like that.
Reyes 2 for 4, couple of singles, couple of RBIs. Pours the first one right down the heart. To the count. Come on, Ray. Good two-strike hitter. So Zimmerman comes on, strikes out Norton, strikes out Durham on 6 pitches. Big inning for the Rangers. We're in the 7th inning straight. Sox by 1. Hosts the Red Sox at Safeco Field. Yankees will take on the Angels in Anaheim. For the National League, Milwaukee at Cincinnati. Giants take on the Fighting Fish down in Florida. LA at Montreal. Pittsburgh at home against the Astros. San Diego at Shea taking on Bobby Valentine's Mets. Cubs take on the Cardinals in St. Louis. Colorado, Atlanta. And the D-backs at Big Bob against the Phillies. Pitching change for the Sox after 2 fine innings of work by Sean Lowe. Sean goes 2 innings, 1 hit, no walks, 4 strikeouts, and he gives way to Folk with a 1-run lead. He's got his work cut out for him here in the bottom of the 7th. Rodriguez, Palmeiro, the first 2 hitters. Yvonne 2 for 3. A run scored, and he's driven in a pair. New battery mate will be Mark Johnson for Josh Paul. Love to watch this man play.
How'd you like to watch that on a daily basis?
Checks it up, fouls it off, and the count 0-2.
That's when you really learn to appreciate how somebody has some talent, when you see it on a daily basis.
Well, I'm just glad we get to see him 10 or 12 times a year.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's a player. And has been since he's come into this league. He got here at 19 years old.
19 years old, that's impressive.
Good change, he's gone. That power changeup from Keith Falk. 1 gone.
That pitch was more impressive. Keith threw him 3 different pitches. Throws him that changeup there. Threw him the high cutter. Threw him a slider. Threw him everything he had that at bat.
Cannot ease up. Here's Palmeiro. He's 2 for 3. Banked out his second 3-run homer of this series back in the 5th. First pitch, strike. And we explained last night and last season about Falk having that. There's another fastball strike. Palmeiro sitting on that number 4 and getting that number 1. So we explained, got an email about that. The difference in a power pitch. We'll explain after this one. Another fastball, foul back. The power pitch is when a hitter can look for it, get it, and still not do anything with it. You're talking about when Randy Johnson's right out there. You can look for his fastball, get it, and still not do anything. That's a power fastball.
You can also look for his slider, get it, and still not hit it.
And Falk with that changeup of his, you can look for it, get it, and still not do anything with it. Palmeiro lays off that one.
Doug Jones with the Oakland Athletics. The same way. That changeup, he'll take a little bit off his changeup, a little bit more, a little bit more. He can sit on it all day and never even touch it.
And he's been a 2-pitch pitcher his whole career. Palmero just gets a piece of it. And if you want to email us, email Hawk and DJ, Sox TV at chicagosports.com.
Right now, Keith is making good use of his pitches, because a team is probably going to ask him to go 2 innings today, and he's used to going 1. Last year, that was mainly his call to come in the 8th inning. Today, here in the 7th.
Jerry Manuel trying to get his club on the board.
Bring your best out.
Up high. Pops him up into center field. Chris Singleton. 2 gone. And a reminder, our next White Sox telecast will be tomorrow night on Chicago's WCIU. Channel 26, the Big U. Our contest between the Sox and the Rangers begins at 7 p.m. Central. For our Superstation viewers, the next WGN telecast will be April 21st from Comiskey Park when the Tigers meet the Sox at 7 p.m. Central.
That should be an exciting game. Bring those big Tigers into town.
Ruben Mateo. Ruben 1 for 3. Ray Durham made a gorgeous play on a vicious line drive as he checks it up, fouls it off. And there's another thing about Folk. You'll see a lot of guys with check swing strikes, check swing foul tips.
I'll tell you what, it looks like he's aiming at their bats. They don't even put it out in the strike zone, and it just rubs right up against it. Nice foul ball to get.
Mateo, very strong young 21-year-old rookie. As we mentioned in the opener, they tell us the Enron Field in Houston hit one 9 miles. On the outside corner, he's gone. So 2 strikeouts for Folk, a 1-2-3 inning, and we'll go to the 8th, still leading by 1. Jose Valentin will lead it off against Jeff Zimmerman here in the top of the 8th inning. As you check out our Toyota game summary, Parquet is pitching nicely till he got to the 5th. The ball hit hard into right field. Kepler turning around, cannot make the play. So the leadoff double by Valentin. And he's 2 for 4. Good boy, Hose.
Boy, I think the wind was a factor on this. The ball was hit very well. Kepler went back and kind of drifted and realized that ball taken off on me. Uh-oh. No chance. A little too late.
Here's Frank. Frank 1 for 2. Couple of walks, 1 intentional. Takes that pitch off the plate. Outfield around to the right, gapped in left center. Alisea trying to jockey in around second base as the count moves to 2-0. So Zimmerman, last inning, if you're just tuning in, came in, struck out Norton and Durham on 6 pitches. Frank, he could knock him in and get him over. 3-0.
Well, looks like Zimmerman wants no part of either one of those statements there. Knock him in or get him over. He threw 6 pitches before and struck 2 batters out. Now he throws 3 straight balls to Frank. Got to have a meaning behind those 3 straight balls.
Gets that one over.
(3-1) here. Frank does not have to just try and get the runner over to third base with this pitch.
They made a nice pull the string on him right there. Had good movement. So a full count. The shadows. The Ballpark at Arlington. Broken bat. Chad Curtis. He's there. And that's out number 1. And a reminder, at Comiskey Park, if you get 20 or more of your friends together for any 2000 White Sox home game, you can receive excellent discounts and personalized service from a White Sox sales representative. So for details, dial 312-674-1000. Here's Maggs. Maggs 0 for 2 with 2 sacrifice flies, a stolen base, and a run scored. Checks it up, takes ball 1. Zimmerman doesn't throw too many pitches that aren't moving.
If he does, they may end up in the seats. That's his specialty. Throwing that off speed, tailing fastball.
You and I have discussed it a lot of times over the years, how you'd much rather face somebody throwing 100 miles an hour who's straight versus a guy who's throwing 87, 88 with real good movement.
Oh, with that movement, it becomes about 94.
Well, it's just hard to center that movement. You can center 100-mile-an-hour fastball if it's straight. When you really run into trouble is when you're facing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball with movement.
Oh.
Now you can grab some bench.
Forget about it.
Seven, 11-1 for the Sox, 16-2 for Texas. Tomorrow night, James Baldwin will tee it up against Esteban Loaiza, 28-year-old right-hander. As we just showed you, that game will be over WCIU, Channel 26. There goes Valentin. He had that base stolen. Good aggressive move by Jose.
Very good aggressive move. The only thing I don't like about that is Maglio has 2 strikes on him. Sometimes that becomes quite a distraction when you're up there hitting, and it kind of catches you off guard.
Yes, it does. And you know, a lot of times, well, it's not done so much now, but a lot of times in the past, you'd have a guy out there and he'll give you a sign when he's going if you're the hitter.
Well, if I was hitting, I'd love to know.
Sure.
Because you catch me off guard, I see you moving out there and you distract me a little bit.
There's a shot. Curtis coming on. He's there. Jumps up. He's a good outfielder. That ball was absolutely hammered by Maggs. That's a hang with him.
Wow, the ball jumps off of Maglio's bat again. Chad going over and having to get up. Boy, there's times in the outfield I did that, get over there and have to get up, and I'd short arm it and miss it.
I never saw any of them.
No, that was before I got here. I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of you, that's for sure.
DJ, you were one of the best outfielders I've seen.
Yeah, for a slow guy.
You weren't slow. I used to love to watch you play the outfield. Here's Konerko. He's 1 for 4. Gets out in front. Chops that one foul down past Wallace Johnson. I used to like to watch you play the outfield. My last thing that I do is before the pitch, I check the outfielders. And then you see guys moving around. That to me is one of the beautiful parts of baseball. Defensive positioning.
Well, that's what I had to do out there. Put myself in the right position. Get that good jump from there. Give myself a chance of a speedier outfield like a Chris Singleton or something can rely on more speed. But I had to put myself in the right position.
I mean, let's put this thing in perspective now. You weren't in the category of a junior or somebody like that, but you were an outstanding outfielder. That's
well,
inside. Good eye.
Thank you very much. But I was up there with Junior. I don't care what you say.
A legend in your own mind, huh?
You won't hear me say that too often unless you're going to compare me to Junior. Then, yeah, I'm up there with him.
Good breaking ball. That was a nice pitch by Zimmerman. Valentin a second. 2 out. 2-2 the count. This is when you just got to fight off some pitches because of the sequence he's thrown in. You got something in your own mind up there. If he doesn't throw that one, you got to try to fight it off if it's over the plate. And he gets him. So the third strikeout for Zimmerman, and the Sox waste a leadoff double by Valentin. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. 7-6 good guy. 7-6 Sox here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It'll be Segui, Kapler, and Alicea to face Keith Falk. Came in last inning, 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. Got Rodriguez and Mateo. So Segui 2 for 2 with an RBI. And this is where you really got to go after some hitters. 2 reasons. First of all, you got a 1-run lead. That's the biggest thing. But the next thing is you don't want to turn his lineup over just enough to where you can get to Rodriguez and Palmeiro in the 9th.
Let's leave them out of this.
Oh, that's not going to be done. There's a base hit. Maggs quickly gets over, cuts it off. So the leadoff single, but we still have the option of the twin killer. Kapler walking up to the plate. And a reminder, White Sox ticket plans are available now. Full season, split season, and 7-game packages with excellent locations throughout Comiskey Park. Just call the White Sox at 312-674-1000 for more information. Kapler 0 for 3. Now 6 for 12 in the series with a couple of homers, and he's driven in 3. Squares the bunt. And that's going to be a fair. So the sacrifice 5-4.
Boy, I'll tell you what, look for a minute there that ball would roll foul, but you can't take a chance while that runner's running down the baseline hard. You got to pick it up and make that play, and don't be taking chances right here. We have to get the out.
Well, the White Sox were not looking for the bunt there. Wilson was playing back. Had a long way to come in. And as you're right, he was Johnny on the spot. Of course, Kapler squared around very early, which gave Craig an opportunity to get in there to make the play.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Craig's got an outstanding arm. He catches that ball and just wings it over there on the money. So perfect all the time.
Alicea 1 for 3. Takes it inside.
Right now, that shadow could be coming into play. That's going across the front of home plate right there. Didn't have any trouble with Segui. Segui didn't have any problem hitting, but you never know how it affect a different hitter. I hated when that happened when I was hitting.
Two 2-0 the count. Frank Catalanato has come out on deck. There's a strike on the inside corner. Activity down in that Ranger pen. There's a horse. John Weber. That pitch popped up into center field. Singleton was playing short anyway. Glasses down, fighting that wind. Makes the catch for out number 2. So here's Catalanato for Tom Evans, who was 1 for 3. Catalanato played yesterday. Last night he went 2 for 3 with a 2-run homer. And Nardi Contreras coming out of that dugout. And if you missed that game last evening, Catalanato at the plate. Had a man on second, nobody out, trying to get something to pull, and he did. And he got it out of here. So is Nardi talking the situation over with Mark Johnson and Keith Folk. Let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN, entertaining America.
Along with DJ Darrin Jackson, Ken Harrelson from the ballpark at Arlington. Sox trying to hang on to this one-run lead.
Well, we've been able to hold on to it. We had that one big inning that hurt us, but
there's a chopper. Durham boots it, picks it up, throws it away. Here comes Biggie. And this game is tied at 7.
boy, I tell you, Ray got over there, hit that ball hit right off the heel of his glove, picks it up, Cardinal sin, throws it away. You get credit for 2 errors on a play like that right there.
Here's Clayton. Yeah, that was an ill-advised throw.
Well, the base runner was already past the base, and then he went ahead and threw it right into the runner. You get so upset that you just booted the ball.
That's high into left field. Carlos is there and makes the catch, so the unearned run crosses the plate. We'll go to the 9th, tied at 7. Seven tie here in the top of the 9th inning. Chris Singleton leads it off, hits it high and deep to right field. Kapler back, looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Wow, Chris jumped all over that ball, got some good distance for us. That's big right there. That's picking up your teammate right there, Hawk.
Solo shot by Singleton. And the Sox lead it 8-7. So they get that run back with 1 pitch and 1 swing, and here's Carlos. Carlos 1 for 3, an RBI double. Takes ball 1. Come on, Carlos. It's 2-0.
Man, I'll tell you what, can you feel the weight just come right off of Ray's back right there? That untimely error last inning.
There's a strike on the outside corner. Nice pitch by Zimmerman. Yeah, that's when if you're Ray, you're the first one over there. Grab him, hug him, give him a little kiss on the cheek.
Thank you for getting that brick off of my back.
That's ball 4. So as so often happens, pitcher throws a homer, walks the next hitter, and here comes Craig Wilson. As we're going to have a pinch runner for Carlos, it'll be McKay Christensen. Wilson checking down with Wallace Johnson, who waited for McKay to get situated at first base. Now Brian Little giving some instructions to McKay. Alicea back of the line now, comes even at the cut of the grass. Looking for the bunt. And he fouls it away. And a reminder, today's game was produced by Skip Ellison, directed by James A. Angio. Our associate producer is Joe Grube, and the executive producer of WGN Sports is Bobby V. Bob Vorwall. Come on, Craig. Do a job. It's out in front of the mound. That'll get it done. Zimmerman over to Catalanato, who's moved into second. Alicea moving over to third. So the sacrifice 1-4.
Nice job by Craig making an adjustment there. Got the same type of pitch first time, jabbed at it, pushed it foul, made an adjustment, deadened it nicely. Perfect bunt.
Here's Mark Johnson making his first plate appearance. Checks it up. Oh, I don't know about that. Meanwhile, nothing won the count.
Well, if MJ can put a ball out there in that outfield safely somewhere, I'll tell you what, we've got the right man on second base to score us a run.
Good speed in Christensen as he checks that up, and the count evens at 1. Be nice to get another one. Bottom of the 9th for Texas. It'll be schedule hitters of Curtis, Rodriguez, and Palmeiro.
Oh yeah. That part we were trying to avoid.
There's a ground ball. Catalanato backs up. He's there. Sucks it up. Throws him out. 2 gone with Christensen in the 3rd. Activity down in the Sox pen. Bob Howery. And here's Ray. You know he wants a redeemer.
Big 2-out hit right here, Ray. Feel good about yourself at the end of the day.
Ray fouls it back. Ray 2 RBI singles in this game. Fakes the bunt, takes the ball. He didn't.
I love that play right there. Man on third base, 2 outs. You can put down that perfect bunt. McKay Christensen with that speed. He's going to score very easily. Ray's going to walk into first base. Got ourselves that bonus run.
Renifro and Cordero. That's outside. One thing about Alisea, they weren't catching him napping, playing back.
He's playing up there, ready to go.
But I like to play as you do. There's a chopper. Bang!
There we go.
Clayton into center field, so Durham does indeed get that redeemer, scoring Christensen with a clutch 2-out single. He's 3 for 6, 3 ribbies, and the Sox lead it 9-7.
Boy, you know Ray's feeling some kind of happy right now with those results, because you don't get much by Clayton today. He's been like a vacuum out there. He's made 1 error, but no, they gave us a hit on that earlier, but not much gets past him.
So here's Jose Valentin. He's 2 for 4, a couple of doubles, a walk, and a run scored. Long set as he takes ball 1. Also, you know Ray wants to run, and all of a sudden you look back there and see number 7 with that catching gear on.
Ray last year made it a personal challenge. He got thrown out by Pudge, I think, twice in 1 game, and he said, I don't care, I'm still running.
That's what makes Ray Ray.
That's right. Talk about his intensity.
I've seen a lot of guys that played hard in this game. I don't think I've ever seen anybody play harder than Durham.
Well, you can't play harder than
No.
somebody that's playing as hard as they can.
That's right. Each and every day. Just a decent lead by Durham. There he goes. And he steals it.
Wow, there we go. Oh, my. Tell you what, he got an outstanding jump. And Pudge still made that a bang-bang play. That must be the tag just wasn't put down there, because he got an outstanding jump right here.
From a dead stop.
Yes. No movement.
Tremendous acceleration. Got the foot in there first.
There we go.
Now, Posey pick him up 2-0 the count. Three and nothing. Big Frank on deck.
Boy, we have been some kind of aggressive against Pudge back there.
I love it. Well,
Wow.
as I said, you know, we talked with Jerry in the spring and mentioned the fact that it was said last year they were going to be aggressive, and it just didn't turn out that way. And he said this year, no question about it, this club, when he gets the right guys out there, and we got some guys who can steal a base.
Well, there's lots of guys on this team with good speed, so there's no reason not to be sending them.
There's a strike.
A generous strike. 3-0.
I don't think Jose minded that. He wants to knock him in.
Oh, knock him in. Knock himself in at the same time. 3-1 count here.
And that's outside, ball 4. Oh, Johnny Oates. Slow walk out of that dugout. He's going to make the change. And regardless of what happens here, I'm glad to see this change. You got a hard thrower coming in, but for the most part, he's a one-pitch pitcher. Francisco Cordero. He did drop a couple of breaking balls over yesterday. The chances are he's not going to go at 3 over to you.
Boy, he did take some chances and throw that breaking ball yesterday, and he caught a lot of hitters off guard with it.
So a break in the action, and we'll be back to tell you about this hard-throwing 22-year-old right-hander. Here's Big Frank against Francisco Cordero, who worked an inning and a third last night, gave up 3 hits, a couple of runs as that pitch foul back. And the count 0-1. 9-13-2 for the Sox, 7-12-2 for Texas, as the Sox have come up with 2 here in the top of the 9th with a chance to do some more damage. Pours that one in there. He put a little giddy up on that one.
A lot of giddy up on that one. With some movement.
How many of those shadows, they just bother the heck out of me. There's a chopper going foul. Breaking ball. And if you're just tuning in, Chris Singleton led this inning off. First pitch from Jeff Zimmerman. High and deep. Kapler back. Put it on the board. And clutch 2-out RBI single by Durham. That ball hit hard into right center field. Kapler going back. Jumps. He cannot make the play. Here comes Durham. Here comes Valentin. Frank into second with a double. And the Sox lead it 11-7.
Oh my, it's nice to see that.
As we mentioned, regardless of what happened, we were glad to see Cordero coming into Thomas, because Zimmerman's got that good movement.
Frank is way off the plate, dives across there, driving that ball into right center field. Kapler kind of thought he had an easier play. I think the wind's playing a little havoc on Kapler out there in the latter part of this game. He's had a little trouble out there. Ball's drifting on him.
Maggs takes ball 1. Maggs 0 for 3, but he's knocked in a pair. Pick him up, Maggs. Ball gets away from Ivan Rodriguez, so Frank ambles into third.
Pudge put that glove down rather than sliding over there to block it. Thought he had it all the way in the air.
Well, sometimes those shadows bother the catcher as well as the hitter.
And the umpire.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times,
Oh, yeah.
shadows like this.
Good call. That's exactly right.
I thought for sure the umpire must not have seen the ball, because he couldn't have called that pitch if he did.
Up high, 3-0. Turn him loose. Get something you like. Hang out a rope. 30. That's ball 4.
But he was ready to cut it loose.
Howdy, Howery. And here comes Bosman. So the 9th man coming to the plate this inning, Paul Konerko. The Sox scoring 4 runs in the opener, 8 yesterday, and they put 11 on the board so far this afternoon.
Well, the offense has definitely not been the problem.
No. Well, I think starting off this season, if you just evaluate the club from what we saw in spring training and then all of a sudden the bell rings, I think at least at the first part of the year, this club's going to have to hit a little bit.
I think so far we've seen a good indication of that.
Yeah, well, and we've got some guys that can do it. This is, even though it's the tied for the youngest club in the American League with the Minnesota Twins, the only club in baseball younger than the Sox is the Florida Marlins. But still, as we mentioned, Jerry Manuel made the statement, and I agree with him 100%. This season, youth is not going to be an excuse for losing.
And I saw that Bill Seamus himself came out and said that he does not want to use that as an excuse this year as a young team, inexperienced team. He wants to go out and win some baseball. That's all it comes down to.
Well, it is a young team, and we have every right to say that, because anytime you get the second youngest team in Major League Baseball, that is a valid point. But to me, it just goes to show you because of the upside. But I am with Manuel 100% in that regard. This should not be an excuse for losing, because this is a good ball club out on the field. A little shaky defensively yet. There's no question about that. And the pitching has got to come around.
Yes, but it's talent that's on the field.
Exactly.
Young talent.
Hey, look at this. Is this beautiful?
Oh, that
boy?
is beautiful. Look at this.
Snort. Here comes Frank. And the Sox lead it 12-7. 5 so far here in the top of the 9th inning.
That's just lovely.
And here comes Johnny Oates. So he brought out Zimmerman for Cordero. And with Chris Singleton, who led it off with that home run, he's going to bring in the southpaw Mike Venafro, and we'll be back. Some of the 25,544 in attendance this afternoon as Mike Venafro comes on. I mentioned last night he had some problems with a finger. He worked an inning in the 3rd in last night's ball game, giving up 2 hits and a run. Last year, 68 in the 3rd, just 63 hits. He's not going to overpower you, but he didn't throw anything straight, DJ.
You get that movement, it makes all the difference if you're not going to be throwing the ball very hard. Movement's the equalizer.
So Mike is 26 years old, 5'10", 180 pounds, out of Fort Myers, Florida. And here comes Singleton. Chris 2 for 4 in his last 2 at-bats, a double, and he led this inning off with a homer.
First pitch homer from Zimmerman to give us that lead that we were wanting to get back, that we had just given up to them. Gave them that opportunity to tie the game back up.
Maggs and Konerko, the runners, as he takes ball 1. 12-15 and 2 for the good guys. 7-12 and 2 for the Rangers. Little pop-up, shortstop, Clayton, glasses down, makes a catch. That'll retire the side, but some severe damage done. A 5-spot. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th, leading 12-7. In the top of the 9th, lead at 12-7. And a pitching change coming on for Keith Falk, who pitched well in his 2 innings of work. Gave up an earned run, had a couple of strikeouts, and there are the numbers on Howard. 28 saves last season. But once again, at the heart of the order. Curtis will lead it off. Then you got Ivan Rodriguez and Rafael Palmeiro. Just come right at him, Bobby.
Well, thank goodness we decided to go ahead and get that cushion for late in the ball game, just like spring training. Ended up strong.
Yeah, this club is not afraid to score late and often.
I don't see any trait being better than that for a team.
And that's the frame of mind they got into when they won 12 of their last 15 games in spring training. First pitch strike to Curtis. Curtis is struck out, robbed of a base hit on a beautiful play by Craig Wilson. Walked, scored, struck out again. One to count. You can see just how that wind has been howling the whole game.
Causing some problems out there, it seemed like, in right field more than any place else today.
Don't get too fine.
Well, you
Don't
just
get
said
too
it.
fine.
You just said it. It's not a time to be trying to aim for those corners. It's time to throw the ball down the heart of the plate and saying hit it at somebody.
He hit it hard. Way back. Singleton looks up. You can put it on the board. It is 12-8. You fall behind like that, 2-1. These guys can sit on that fastball. And they can take a 93, 94-mile-an-hour fastball and slow it up because of the count in this situation. This is really, from a hitting standpoint, a great time to hit the ball game.
Well, you know the guy has to come at you right here. He's just falling behind on you, and the best thing you can do now is sit on dead red fastball and cut it loose. You're not trying to hit singles right now. Singles aren't going to do you any good right now. You want to go ahead and cut it loose when you're ahead in the count. Chad Curtis has that mentality, that's for sure.
Here's Rodriguez. Slider. He's on 2 for 4. Run scored, knocked in a pair. You know, we talked about it last night and in opening day. A lot of our guys come out. They'll get ahead of the hitter on the first pitch, and all of a sudden, first thing you know, it's 2-1, 3-1.
If you're going to get ahead of a hitter like that, you have to put something close to the strike zone. That ball's not even close to the strike zone right there. Try and bait that guy in the swing to something right around the plate. Like that.
Chopper going foul, so Howery on top, 1-2. Take him right here.
He's thrown him 3 breaking balls. 2 of them were really good pitches. The one he decided to really put a lot of rotation on, and it broke so hard it was in the dirt. Right now, Ivan doesn't know what to expect. He's sitting up here after seeing 3 straight breaking balls. Bobby's got that advantage of being able to blow that fastball up there right by him right now.
2-2 the count. I said it before, and I'll say it again. One of the toughest things, and I think one of the worst things for pitchers. They have grown up, for the most part, not swinging the bat. There's a chopper to Hopper. Valentin over to Konerko, and that's out number 1. But they have grown up swinging the bat, DJ. And they don't have a good comprehensive fact of what it is to hit.
How difficult it is to hit.
That's exactly right.
The only reason a fastball becomes very hittable is when a hitter knows that it's going to be coming more than likely. If you know a fastball is coming and you throw it hard, it doesn't matter anymore. You know it's coming. That's falling behind in the count.
Palmeiro 2 for 4, a single, a 3-run homer. Palmeiro in 3 games has cranked out 2 and driven in 7. Off-speed pitch way out in front.
There's that good changeup he's been working on. That's the best one he's thrown yet.
Valentin, nice pick on a shot off the bat. High throw, but Konerko is going to come off and put the tag on him. 2 down.
Wow, that is a nice pick right there. The thing that Hosey did is he picked it and he threw it over to first. Gave Paul a chance to get up, catch that ball, and plenty of time to put the tag down. I love to see that.
And let's check out our Miller Genuine Draft play of the game coming in the top half of this inning. Chris Singleton leading it off in a 7-7 tie. First pitch from Jeff Zimmerman. One of the few he has thrown that did not have good movement. And that started off the 5-run ninth. Ruben Mateo, the hitter. He's 1 for 4. Oh, what a nice pick by Valentin. And as you mentioned it, he made the right play, comes up immediately, gets the ball over there, and gives Paulie plenty of time to make the adjustment.
Yeah, if he hesitates at all, guess what? Runner's safe at first base because he pulled him off the base.
One and 2 the count. Don't go full. Take him right here. 2 and 2. Ground ball. Valentin's got him. Up with it. Over to Konerko, and this ball game is over. So the Sox come up with 5 runs in the top of the 9th inning as they get on the board. They win it 12-8.